Growing up in this world, you've probably been told that looks don't matter. It's your personality that wins people over. It doesn't matter what you look like on the outside, it's what's on the inside that counts. But I mean, is that really the case? If that's true, why are so many genuinely decent guys still invisible? The sad truth is, looks matter a lot. I don't know when and why people started denying this, but it's really disingenuous and ridiculous. And in this video, I'll be breaking down thoroughly, giving an in-depth analysis why this is the case, why looks are more important than personality. When I was in university, I wanted to improve on my social skills. So whilst in my dorm room the night before class, I was deep into my self-improvement watching Hamza. I set myself the task to speak to a group of students who always stood outside the auditorium right before class started. I was going to speak to them, I was going to socialise, I was going to improve. So then the next day came. So there they were. I entered myself into the circle they were standing and I joined into their conversation. The conversation was going decently well, nothing special. Then walked in a guy who I will call Michael for the purpose of this video. He was about 6'3", on the basketball team and just an overall Chad. Once Michael joined in on the conversation, almost everything he said had everyone smiling and laughing. The guy literally just stood there, said barely anything that was interesting and contributed nothing to the discussion. I left the conversation scratching my head. How comes I got such an indifferent reaction compared to Michael? Some people may say the reason why this is because Michael was more interesting than me, more charismatic. But why was Michael seen in this way? Really? What is really the reason? And the truth is, looks. You see, the thing is, there's something called the halo effect. This is where people subconsciously perceive you to have better personality traits just because you look better. If you look like this, you're confident. But when you look like this, you're creepy and weird. This is because attractive people are automatically seen with better personality traits. And I'm not just making this up either, okay? There's evidence to back up my claim. A study that was carried out consisted of 40 undergraduate college students, 20 men and 20 women, who were being photographed. The students then took part in a video clip where they were asked which of these three items, chocolate, hairspray, or a plastic bag, they would bring with them into a deserted island. And what would they do with those items? When finished, the videos were then carefully edited to be 20 seconds long. A different group of students were then placed in a quiet room alone with a desktop computer, where they were played the clips in random order with only the audio recordings of the clips. They were then shown the photographs of the previous students, and they were finally shown the video clips. The students were then asked to rate the clips on a 7-point scale for how amusing they found it, and then rate how attractive they viewed the actors in the video for short-term relationships and long-term relationships. The results are shocking. The less attractive students scored slightly higher in funniness in the audio-only part, but were then viewed as less funny in the video section. The complete opposite was true for the attractive students. This clearly demonstrates that the perceptions of humour were very influenced by the attractiveness of the person. You know, this is something that I relate to personally. When I was in school, I did a lot of what I call jestermaxxing. This is because I always thought that if I could make people laugh and be funny, then they would like me. So when I would come into class, I would make jokes constantly, always trying to get people to laugh. And now looking back in retrospect, I only got strong reactions when I said something that was really, really funny, like hit it out of the park funny. On the other hand, people on the football team would make half comments which were barely even funny, and people would laugh like there was no tomorrow. This is because I didn't understand the importance of looks. I thought that it was all about personality and being a likable person. And hold on, I'm not being negative in this video, and I'm not saying that personality doesn't matter at all. What I am saying is that the way you look strongly determines how your personality will be perceived. And once you take this in, you will stop jestermaxxing. You will stop all the coping strategies that you've been doing that's been getting you nowhere. And most importantly, you will stop beating yourself up for something that is out of your control. So why do people deny that looks are more important than personality? The first reason is simple. Privilege is invisible to those who have it. People who are attractive and have had positive reinforcement honestly believe that the reason for their success is because of their aura and their personality. King 68 the Great says that his success comes from his king energy, and him being a 6'8" super specimen of a man has got nothing to do with it. It's got nothing to do with it.
I'm like short. You have some advice from like me, I'm short.
It has nothing to do with height, man. It has everything to do with confidence. You know what I'm saying? There's women out there that aren't into height, so it's just about confidence.
Yeah, man. It's all about the confidence, bro. It's all about the confidence, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not about the height, you know what I'm saying? He's received so much positive reinforcement that he actually believes the limiting factor is personality and confidence, and not looks. Jeremy Meeks goes viral, gets bailed out of prison, and becomes a well-renowned multi-millionaire model. And he believes that everything happened to him because he worked hard and never gave up. He comes out with these bizarre quotes such as, "We just need to get out of our own way."
Man, we gotta get out of our own way. You know what I'm saying? Can't no one stop us but us. So go towards your goal, put your blinders on like a racehorse, and go after your dreams.
And he also tells us that he never gave up, which shows us that anything is possible.
Ooh. Telling you guys, anything is possible. Don't ever get up. Keep grinding, keep hustling, shoot for your dreams. You can do anything you want. I promise you. You just have to take that first step, take that hard step of actually doing something.
He went from a convict to a millionaire, man. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. A lot of people are just not able to see the world outside of themselves. And a lot of people just lack self-awareness. Secondly, people just don't want to come across as shallow. As a society, we've been taught we should never judge people on their looks, because this means that you're a bad person. So even when people do judge based on looks, which everyone does, the majority of people won't even admit it, even to themselves. A perfect example of this would be the Pop the Balloon show. If anyone doesn't know, the show is a dating program where contestants walk out in front of a line of men and women, and if something about them is not what you like, you should pop the balloon. Well, what would that be? What would that thing be that would lower your interest? You've never met this person before, so obviously the first impression and the limiting factor would be, you guessed it right, it would be looks. And yes, sometimes contestants may say something that's really silly, but for the most part, your success on that show is determined by the way you look. When men and women pop their balloons on the show, it's so obvious that they just make up some excuse as to why they pop it. And the men do it just as much as the women do. A lot of them will say something like, "Oh, I didn't like her shoes. Since when did you care about what shoes a girl is wearing? If a girl you found really attractive had the same shoes on, you wouldn't care. Stop lying." So when you put this all together, the idea that personality matters more than looks starts to fall apart completely when you understand everything that I have discussed. Once you understand that your looks will determine how your personality is perceived, you will stop blaming yourself. You will stop jestermaxxing. If you want to improve your life, become more of a likable person, someone people want to be friends with. You should probably focus on improving your looks. And this is what I will be doing moving forward.